What if I told you that there are two Jormungandrs or world serpents in God of War Ragnarok? But how can this be? We find Jormungandr, aka Jormi, which he likes to be called by his friends, which we learn from Mimir, the smartest severed head alive, in the Lake of Nine right after Kratos and Atreus first meet Freya. But how can this lake, or even Midgard for that matter, hold two Jormungandrs since he spans the entire realm? That is crazy. But what if I tell you that it is possible that there are two Jormungandr or world serpent in God of War Ragnarok? In this video, I am going to tell you how it is perfectly possible that there are two Jormungandr in God of War Ragnarok. So pull up a seat, grab a cup of mead, and let's go over how there could be two Jormungandr in God of War Ragnarok. So like I said before, we first meet Jormi right when we first start exploring the Lake of Nine after we leave Freya's house underneath our giant turtle friend Charlie. And wasn't it a spectacle? This gigantic serpent coming out of the water to meet face-to-face Kratos and Atreus. And ultimately, he turns out to be friendly. Well, we didn't really know that at that time, but he is friendly towards giants and friends of giants. So how did this giant serpent come to live in this lake that expands the entire realm of Midgard? We first learn how Jormungandr got to the Lake of Nine by Freya when we were traveling for the first time to Alfheim. And also about, well, his not-so-best friend Thor as well.
Why is that creature in the bay?
No one knows. He just appeared one day. Soon after, Thor attacked, and their battle could be felt across all the realms. Ultimately, it ended in a stalemate, and Thor returned to Odin empty-handed. The serpent stayed and grew so large, he now spans all of Midgard.
See? Told you.
They've hated each other ever since, destined to kill each other come Ragnarok.
So a little later on in God of War 2018, after we severed Mimir's head from his torture place, I guess. So we take Mimir along with us during our journey, and he tells us exactly how Jormungandr gets to the Lake of Nine.
Amir, what else did the serpent tell you when you spoke? Kinda sounded important.
I'm sure it's nothing. He just said the boy seemed familiar to him.
Me? That's impossible.
Oh, I quite agree. Unless, perhaps, he refers to something yet to be. It is said that when Jormungandr and Thor battle at Ragnarok, their clash so violently shakes the Tree of Life that it splinters, casting the serpent backward through time, even before his own birth.
What?
That is madness.
Well, I did say not to concern yourself.
And with all of this information, we can confirm this by looking at the Jormungandr shrine that we find during the game. So on the very left panel, we see a very young Jormungandr and his mother Angrboda. In the middle panel, we see the Lake of Nine. And on the right panel, we see Jormungandr taking on Thor during Ragnarok. So at first glance, there really isn't anything out of the ordinary. Well, in the God of War universe at least. But there really is something out of the ordinary when you compare the shrine to the stories that we learn from Freya and Mimir. During the Battle of Ragnarok, Jormungandr does take on Thor, and their clash could be heard throughout the realm. They clash so hard that it actually splinters the world tree Yggdrasil and sends Jormungandr back in time, even before his own birth, to where we first find him. And we can confirm this because we know Atreus is Loki and the father of Jormungandr, in myth at least, and also Angrboda, who is the mother. So we do see that both of these characters are very young, and it probably will not be giving birth to Jormungandr anytime in the near future. There possibly could be a different loophole or a different way Jormungandr could be birthed, such as time travel to make Atreus and Angrboda maybe a little bit older, through magic, through the difference of times between the realms. There's 100 different ways this could happen in God of War Ragnarok. But this means Jormungandr has not been birthed yet, so he can be sent back in time when we first find him in the Lake of Nine. So here's a crazy theory or idea. So it is completely possible that the older Jormungandr that was sent back in time from Ragnarok will still be alive when he is born from Loki and Angrboda during God of War Ragnarok. This will give us two Jormungandrs in God of War Ragnarok. Isn't that crazy to think about? You'd think one Jormungandr would be a spectacle. Try two. That would be completely crazy. Now, there is no confirmation that the older Jormungandr will still be alive at his own birth. Wow, let that sentence settle in for a second. Maybe through the hands of Thor or something else other than that. And this is why Atreus and Angboda have to create the world serpent again. Whether once again it is through magic, time travel, or even the old-fashioned way, which I seriously doubt since they're so young. But once again, there might be some time travel things in there to make them a little older, but we'll have to wait and see. So there very well might be 2 Jormungandrs in God of War Ragnarok. And if you like this theory, I do have a couple of more Jormungandr theories in this playlist right here, as well as a lot more God of War Ragnarok theories. If you would like, check them out and tell me in the comments if you think I'm right, if you think I'm slightly off, or I think I'm completely wrong.